Okay, so at this point you should have a cube that is 24 feet by 24 feet by 24 feet. Actual size. Well, virtual actual size. Okay? And we have taken that and used a grid layer, made ourselves a grid layer, and gridded this up 3 foot, 3 foot by 3 foot. Well, 3 foot X, 3 foot Y, 3 foot Z direction. So if I turn off the default layer, what I'll be left with is this gridded cube, or just wire thing, right? And so what we're going to do with this is to take our information from our first aid packet, which is this 3x3 grid on the 24x24 cube, and start to subtract these elements from the object. So this is there for your reference, but we'll do this together, okay? First box that we're going to make, is the first sheet. We're going to make a box that is 15 feet in the Y direction, 6 feet in the X direction, and 15 feet in the Z direction. So what that is a box, and if you want to get to the perspective view, I believe this is my Y direction, so if I say that it is in the Y direction, it is 6 inches. But when I put the box command, first thing on the command prompt line, it'll read first corner of base. It doesn't matter where I put it. I could just put it here, and it'll ask me for the second corner of the thing. So what I'm going to try to do is get this to the 6 feet, 6 feet wide by 15 feet. So 6 feet at 6 feet, comma, 15 feet. We did the at symbol because it is a relative coordinate, if you recall. And there it is. And then the height is going to be 15 feet, so I just type in 15 feet, and there it is. Okay, so one mistake I made is that this is on the grid layer. I probably wanted it on the default layer so that it will be on the same level as these things. Okay. So with the help of my grid here, I can move this thing. So if I say move, type in move, select the object, enter. I'm using my gumball. I have at least my intersection on. I want to move this from this intersection right here to the intersection of this corner, but I want to move it 3 foot high. So there it is. Okay. For those of us who do not have a grid, like I said, we can move things around. So if I say move, and let's just turn off the grid layer. Oops. If I had the grid off, and if I said move, select the object, select here, select a known corner to a known corner, and select the object using gumball, I can move this up 3 foot, and that should get me the same thing as if I were to have this grid on. Okay, so either way, get the first box that is 6 foot by 15 by 15 up in this corner 3 feet above the ground plane. Okay, so just so that I have a copy of this thing right now, I am going to take this object. Oops. If I go select this object right here, the extrusion part, whenever I hit something, whenever I hit something and all of this selection menu comes up, that means there's like items on top of items, maybe on top of items. That's why I could select either the curve, which is our grid line, or this extrusion, which is our grid or the solid that we made. So I'm going to select this extrusion and copy it. And I'm just going to move it there for now. Enter. Move this thing out of the way, just to keep it as a record. What I want to do is to subtract this piece from this larger piece. Okay, so for that I don't need my grid, so I'm going to turn that off for now. And I'm left with this solid piece right here and this solid piece right here. If I use the command, and I should probably put it on the help so that we see other ways of doing it. If I do a Boolean difference, which is this guy right here, Boolean difference, and it says for me to use the left mouse button. That means that you could go to the toolbar, solid tools, which is solid right here, and it should have the same symbol. Or I could go to the menu, solid, and then Boolean difference, which is difference right there. Okay, so any one of these methods would work fine. All I want to do is make sure that I have this method, Boolean difference. From this, I just read the command prompt. Say select surface or polysurface to subtract from. What do I want to subtract from? I want to subtract from this large box, and it says hit enter when I'm done, so I'm going to hit that. Done. Do I want to delete input? I'm going to delete input. Select surface to subtract with, so I'm going to subtract this little piece and say enter. And if you notice, this little piece kind of got dug out. That's a little bit more like taking a bite out of the apple, right? And it looks like a subtracted piece. Okay, so this is where we want to be for the first step. If you do not like these lines that are here, I think the lines helps because it helps you select that surface and all, you know. Instead of selecting just the edge or something, I want to select this surface. If I select that cross line right there, that might help me get it. But if you do not like that, you could go to the view or display and then go to ISO curves and turn that off, and that'll turn it off. Then it'll look more like a solid piece, right? So you could have this on or off if you like, but I'm going to keep mine on because I just might need to hit the surface at the later point. Okay.